Now, the reason they put tags on baby food is because there are some filthy thieves around that want to nick it and flog it on down the local pub. The idea that this is all desperate mums. Nicola came in tonight, you won't mind me saying this, with your little baby. And she's not in the studio with us right now.
No, she's
she's being nicely looked after, working camera to her. Get them to work early. And you had some baby milk there.
I did.
Obviously, I did have to brief you and check whether you'd stolen that. You hadn't,
did.
as it turned out. But it is one of those products that, like razors, a few other products like that just get nicked a lot. And the fact that Sadiq would step in, I just want to reiterate what I said. What a nice man. What a lovely man Sadiq Khan is. Some people refer to him as the pint-sized mayor. I would never do something like that. His heart is big, even if he isn't.
Let's be frank. I think if Sadiq Khan saw a gang of people taking the baby food or nappies, he would not be paying for that. But if he saw a woman who is clearly looking desperate and is trying to sheepishly steal some baby formula, he probably would pay for it.
Would we all do that?
Exactly. I think we all would do that, precisely. And that's different to then saying, well, people are stealing it to go and sell down the pub. You're going to pay for them? Of course he's not going to.
If you can afford it, by the way, they're like 18 quid for a tub. Like the one you saw me using earlier was £2 a feed.
Yeah.
And it's mad. And I'm sure there'll be people who are like, well, why don't you breastfeed then? Well, unfortunately, not everybody can breastfeed all of the time. And we have these ridiculous rules in this country where infant formula... So
you can't do any bargains on it. Yeah.
Infant formula, anything up to 6 months, you can't sell 2 for 1, you can't sell it at a discount price, anything like that. It's against the law.
I agree that is ridiculous, and I think that needs to be revisited. So I'm sure everybody probably knows, the rationale for that is the promotion of what the government would see as artificial milk versus breastfeeding, which there's always been so much pressure on new mums to do.
So much
I've got many views on that. But the reality is, and I wasn't able to breastfeed. I would like to have. I was just not, there is a small percentage of women who simply do not produce enough milk. So therefore, what you're going to do, you're going to have to buy that stuff. It is really expensive. And I don't see why there shouldn't be 2-for-1 offers. I know, maybe it undermines breastfeeding a bit, but in the end, mums will take the decisions they think are either in the best interests of their child or the ones that they're forced to do so that the baby doesn't starve. My son would have died if it hadn't been for that stuff.
And the idea that by making it expensive, you're somehow going to persuade millions of women to breastfeed. I mean, all you're doing, as you've both said, is punishing the women, who can't and making them feel even worse.
Here's a fun fact about formula, and I know someone's going to correct me on this, and I'm sure this is
it's all the same.
That it's all the same.
Yeah.
The most expensive and it legally
because they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to say here's a better one for your baby than this one.
It's all exactly the same.
Well, I think their argument is, because there's a few regulatory boards on this, their argument is that some of the formulas do differ slightly and it can make the baby sick. But I want some hard evidence on that, Ian.